key word, for the most part, you have to say Wayne Rooney is an honest man for the most part, because this is a Man United legend who absolutely hates Arsenal, man. Back when he was playing, early on in his career, Man United and Arsenal were playing against each other. And that was when they were first and second, literally going at each other's throats, man. The Roy Keane versus Vieira times, Henry against, Cristiano Ronaldo. That's what we were seeing. And now Wayne Rooney, a few years later, has said Arsenal are being difficult to beat. They don't concede many goals, but I like that they are doing. I like they are doing because I really like Arteta as well. Wish him to win the league. So he's basically saying, I want Arsenal to win the league. Now, many United fans might come out and say that is an outrageous take, but I've always thought it's kind of ridiculous for United fans at this point of the season, seeing who are going to be the contenders, not want Arsenal to win the league, because at the moment you are 14th place. 14th place. So that is like, criticizing an Everton fan for saying, oh, I really hope Arsenal pull it through this season, because obviously you don't want Liverpool to win the league. You really don't. And Everton probably support Arsenal just as much as they support Everton, because they want Liverpool to not win the league. And Man United are literally rivals with Liverpool a little bit more than Arsenal. And as well, they hate Man City because obviously that is your town rivals. That is your city rivals. You both occupy Manchester. So you don't really want to see City really succeed. But it makes sense why Rooney actually likes Arteta and wants Arsenal to win the league, because out of Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, the three most likely to win the league, it's less painful to see Arsenal win it. Genuinely. But Wayne Rooney has had a bit of a, history of being honest, because Wayne Rooney has his kids in Manchester United, and he also criticized the club, not too far from the past, actually the 29th of September, so a few days ago, saying the culture at Manchester United is gone. Staff are leaving, jobs are being lost, and I fear this could affect my kids in the academy. This isn't the United I know. Which is a valid concern considering that he's had his kids in the Manchester Academy. That is, expected considering he's a Man United legend. Why not keep his kids in the Man United Academy? You never know. You might have his son playing for Man United's, first team. But he is worried because obviously Ineos has been being very cheap, because it doesn't cost them to go out and spend 95 million on Hoyland 2.0 named Sesko. But it cost them to give the kit man a sandwich. It cost them to employ the staff. It cost them to have somebody wash the jersey. It cost them to do all the small things that build up to the big team. And that concerns Wayne Rooney because obviously his kids are in the academy and he doesn't want these budget cuts affecting their squad. What if he likes the manager that his kid currently has, but just because of these budget cuts, the manager ends up having to find another job because they're cutting his pay. So valid concern. He's being honest here. As well as, remember when he was basically saying, oh, if Manchester City win the UCL and the title, I think you put him up there with the 1999 United side. That's honesty. Man United fans don't even have this kind of honesty. And this man, Wayne Rooney, bled for the squad, for Man United. And, the 08 team was great, but City do beyond what we did. I have them beating Madrid. So, just because he's a United, player and legend, it doesn't show his bias for the most part. I will say that. Honestly, it seems like Wayne Rooney has criticized Man United more than other clubs, and he actually has been giving support to rival clubs. Quite odd, but at the end of the day, what my take here is Man United fans that have been going after, Arsenal need to stop. I think so, because at the end of the day, you are no longer rivaling Arsenal. Your rivalry does not go beneath competitiveness, because back then Arsenal and United, yes, they were rivals because they were first and second on the table. Like Liverpool and Arsenal are rivals at the moment because they are first and second. They don't have any other background of having rivalry, really, compared to Arsenal having with Chelsea and Tottenham and those kinds of clubs, with Liverpool having, Everton as a rival, and Man United. It bleeds a little thicker. There's more to it. But Liverpool and Arsenal don't have beef like that. And, you could also say Arsenal and United don't really have beef like that right now, because why would Arsenal have beef with a club that's 14th place? That's like Arsenal coming out and, saying they absolutely can't stand West Ham. West Ham is the worst. They feel no ill will to West Ham. West Ham, when they look at West Ham, they're thinking 3 points. And that's what they do with Man United now. When they look at Man United, 3 points. So at this point, do you want to see Liverpool win another league? Because you got fans saying that they thought they'd never see Liverpool win another league. But guess what? Klopp did it. Slot's done it. 2 managers have done it. And it's been 2 managers that have done it since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club. So it kind of shows you where the club is at the moment. So at this point, if I was a United fan, I would be giving Arsenal some support, because you can't stand City winning another one, and you can't stand seeing Liverpool win one. So what does that leave you with? Arsenal, because at the end of the day, Chelsea can't even keep 10 men in the on the pitch. So Chelsea have no chance. It's Arsenal or nothing, lads. And it's going to be, a hell of a delusion if you think United have any chance of coming back and clawing themselves into a title race, because that's just not going to happen. So my point here is, be a little bit more like Rooney when it comes to being a Premier League / United fan. Anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. What do you think? Should United fans want Arsenal to win the league, or should they kind of stray to Liverpool or City, considering they're not going to be in the race at all? But anyways, thank you guys for watching.